Chapter 1. Monday, 6 November 1944. The mirror told him he had lost some weight, but that shouldn't have surprised him. 2 weeks of traipsing through the German countryside during a cold autumn, followed by a week and a half in an old brick factory turned field hospital being treated for exposure, will do that to a man. John Hartman appraised himself for the 10th time in the mirror, noting that his uniform was a bit loose around the neck. The necktie just wouldn't stay cinched in a tight knot. Every inch of clothing felt a hair loose, and the sharpness of his jawline had become more pronounced. Finally getting some semblance of real food, he would need to start lifting weights again. Regardless of all that, Hartman still looked like he was the model for half of America's recruitment posters, with his broad shoulders, bold cleft chin, and standing over 6 foot. Honestly, he was happy to be able to shave, shower, and have a pressed uniform. The clock struck 8 in the morning, and he buttoned his jacket as he made to leave the temporary quarters graciously provided to him by the Brits. He had a meeting scheduled with Major Spivey in an hour, and Hartman always showed up early to everything. In fact, the idea of being late, or even on time, gave him butterflies in his stomach, and that just wasn't acceptable. It was a short walk to 70 Grosvenor Street, 20 minutes tops, where the Office of Strategic Services housed its London headquarters under the command of Lieutenant Colonel William Casey. John didn't know if the colonel would be involved in the meeting, and he wasn't sure if that was a good thing or not. When he submitted his official report with Major Spivey, the scrawny, rat-nosed accountant of a man, the major had gotten him on the first flight out of France across the Channel. It appeared Hartman had struck a nerve. As he stepped outside, he couldn't help but feel he may as well have never left that cold German forest in Paderborn. An unbroken wall of gray clouds hovered over the city, a near-permanent fixture over London, based on what he could tell from past visits, and the deep chill heralding an abnormally cold winter permeated everything. Metal handrails around balconies or leading up the front steps to the front doors were covered in frost, and though the hour was early, it seemed unlikely that the sun trapped behind the ever-present cloud cover could warm the day much above freezing. He moved quickly, feeling the cold London air cut right through his jacket and all. The deep cold didn't bother the Londoners, however. Men in suits and overcoats traversed the sidewalks, usually with other men, but sometimes with members of the fairer sex. The faces that showed nothing but grim determination and haunted sadness a year ago had changed to gay smiles and souls full of hope. The last German attack by air came 6 months ago, and with the Luftwaffe all but destroyed, the British people enjoyed the safety of their own homes again. The war would end, soon, and everyone knew it. The only question asked was how many more of their sons had to die before Germany accepted defeat. The OSS headquarters building had an unassuming front, little different from all the other buildings on the row of Grosvenor Street, which Hartman supposed was for the best. It wouldn't seem wise to post anything identifying it as such. One may as well put up a sign that said, "Here are American spies." 3 steps in a wide clamshell layout led up to the front door with black iron railings on either side. However, the pair of American MPs inside certainly made clear to anyone looking closely that this address had a purpose in the war effort, as did most on Grosvenor Street. The men saluted as Hartman entered the warm interior, a brand-new radiator off to one side throwing off welcome heat. He returned the salute with an appropriate, "As you were," as he flexed his whitened hands in an attempt to return the blood flow. He then turned to a large oak desk on his left, behind which sat a pretty brunette non-com. She had a large desk blotter with an equally large appointment book open atop it, her left hand holding a pen as she looked at him with deep brown eyes. Hartman didn't see the terminus of her right sleeve, and he wondered if her hand happened to be on the trigger of a large handgun or shotgun under the desk. "Name and nature of your visit, sir?" she asked, all business. "Captain John Hartman, Sergeant. I have a meeting with Major Spivey at 0900. "Yes, sir. You're early, sir." "In my nature," he replied, and fired off one of his best dazzling smiles with a glint of his gray eyes. She was unimpressed.